Good morning. Thank y'all for joining me today. First of all, I want to thank you for those of you who stay faithful and committed to watching my videos, staying faithful to this channel. The last couple of weeks, as you've noticed, I've been off, taking care of some other things, but I'm not going to use any of that as any excuses for me not being here. But I would tell you this, is when you start gravitating towards things, that's good or bad, gravitating towards opportunities, then opportunities, certain types of opportunities start gravitating towards you. So I've had some other income producing opportunities that have arisen, that has come to my attention, that I'm in a process of kind of juggling a bit to sift through and see which one is fitting my vision, the vision for my life, and that which is not. So that's why I've been off, and so I've been working quite a bit and things like that. And so I decided, I said, I didn't want to just throw videos together for you because I value my time, and in doing so, I value your time. So I appreciate your understanding. I hope you read my post where I last week when I told you that I would be back today, but I was apologizing because I wanted to share that with you. That is, when you start operating. Now, this works for success or failure. When you focus on income producing opportunities, finding yourself, finding your place in life, or really becoming more purpose driven, you're going to have two types of opportunities that come before you at minimum. But I would say two. You're going to have good opportunities and bad opportunities. In some case, for the Christian, I would say you're going to have God opportunities and good opportunities. And of course, bad opportunities that come before you. But that's where you need wisdom. We all need wisdom. And I pray to God for wisdom on choosing what I do, because I have to allocate time and energy towards that work, towards that process, towards that opportunity. If it's for me, do the necessary research, ask some right questions, etc. So that's what I'm excited for, and I hope you're excited for me about it. But I'm also excited for you, because as my dad says, is what you focus on, you attract. And so if you want to attract more opportunities, and I'm talking about not just opportunities, but the best opportunities for you, it starts with your mindset. And so that's what I've been experiencing. I'm very thankful for that. And I'm also very thankful to be back with you. Now let's go ahead and get into today's message. And I want to talk to you today about ingredients. Now, I'm not a cook yet. Now, I can cook a little bit. I have not committed the energy and time towards that, but since I plan on getting married, my future wife, she may have a certain taste for some things, and so I want to be able to cook maybe a couple of dishes for her, something like that for her. And so I'm going to learn how to cook, and with the advent of technology, I'm sure I'm going to have some good assistance in doing so. But these ingredients I'm talking about here has to do with us being successful. Again, when you think of success, or when I talk about success, I'm not talking about success simply based on my perspective or based on my view of it, because success for each of us is different. Some of it may overlap, some of it may line up, but a lot of times it's also different. You may want to be a better husband, a better wife, a better son or daughter, a better parent, a better employer, employee, etc. So success looks different. So the question is what does success look like for me? Define that for yourself, and then apply the principles you are going to learn today. So we're going to be talking about ingredients, putting the stuff together for success. I think I might make that my video title, but a part of my well, once I do it, you'll see it, but of my thumbnail title. But I'm definitely talking about this. Matter of fact, I'll tell you this, my YouTube title is going to be called Ingredients Putting the Stuff Together for Success. Ingredients, putting the stuff together for success. For those of you who cook, you'll understand this. For those of you in construction, I know you don't use that term ingredients, but basically that's what you're doing when you're putting the nails, getting the hammer, the concrete, those certain types of wood, the electrical parts, the wiring, the plumbing, all those type of things, in a manner of speaking, or using terms for cooking a meal or cooking a recipe. Those are recipes for your success. Those ingredients that actually help you put together a house or a business. All right. And so these principles, if we walk in them and use them, you'll be successful. Again, keep this in mind. You already do this to the areas in your life. Matter of fact, again, and I believe when I first started, I talked on one of my first videos had to do with us being successful. All of us have been successful, just like all of us have failed in one area or another. We have all been successful. You say, Darius, what are you talking about? If you have been successful at failing at something, right? Relationships, managing your finances, managing your health, excuse me, managing the time that you have, right? You have been successful. I don't want to help you stop being successful. I want to help you change what you've been successful in. So let's do this. So, first, everyone wants success, but few realize it's not one big secret. It's a recipe. You already have some of the ingredients, but are you putting them together in the right way? You can have all the tools necessary to build a project or to cook a meal. But if you don't put them together correctly, if you leave one thing out, if you add the wrong thing, if you have all the ingredients or tools necessary, have all the right information, but don't know how to organize and prioritize it and use it in the right way, you automatically will fail. You'll at least fail to put that recipe or put that project together or build that vehicle, that engine, or that homework project for the teenagers. You will fail. Not because you have a lack of tools or lack of ingredients, but you have a lack of it could be a lack of know-how. It could be a lack of willingness, the unwillingness to do what you need to do with what you have. So become aware of what it is you have. First of all, you have to have let's go and get to it. I don't want to get ahead of myself. You already have some of the ingredients, but are you putting them together in the right way? And then there are times you may need to get a little something extra or something that is missing. So you have to or something that is missing. So you have to find out what it is that you're missing and acquire it. So let's talk about cooking versus success. Both need order, both need timing, and both need correct combinations. Again, when you cook, for those of you cookers, most people, or many people can cook, or many people understand the concept of what? Eating. Sometimes you can tell if something's missing or if there's too much of something in a particular food ingredient when you taste it. Somebody who's, especially someone who's seasoned, they'll say, man, this has too much salt. Or this does not have enough nutmeg. Same thing with different types of drinks. Same concept, same process works for that as well. If you're having flour, sugar, and eggs, doesn't make a cake until they're combined with what? Purpose. And purpose is intentionality, or you being intent on something. So I'm going to give you seven ingredients that if you want to be successful in any endeavor, no matter what scale it is. Now, again, depending on the level, you may have to acquire more ingredients of those things, more types of ingredients of those things. You may need to acquire more help to accomplish that thing. But no matter how big or how small the project or how big the desire, these basic ingredients work for each and every one of them. And you have already been using them. Oftentimes we have used these principles or use these ingredients without recognizing or being aware of their power, their importance, their value, and their priority. But I hope today this changes for you. And I hope you come back and watch this video again. I may have to watch it again myself. Why? Because it's not enough just for me to share it and teach it based on my experiences. You have to use another principle called repetition. A lot of us have become, especially in the modern age, where we want everything so quick. You have to repeat. There's some information, like, for example, I'm going to say this and I move on to the next day. When I'm listening to motivational videos, I'll call them encouraging videos for now, or coaching type videos. I've told myself I have to reinvent how I listen and absorb that information, because a lot of times I will go from video to video. Some of my favorite speakers, or sometimes some new guys or some new ladies that come up. And so my goal now is I'm shrinking the amount of voices I listen to so that I can also absorb, because they're saying a lot of the same things, just giving it their own take on it. And they're giving their own life experiences, and which I like, I enjoy. And so I want to become more repetitive in listening to content rather than going from one cycle to the next, one video to the next, over and over and over. And so I'll say, okay, I'm gonna listen to this one 3 times. Then and I may come back to it depending on that information. But my goal is to start listening to that type of content over and over at least 3 times. The first time is for information. The second time, hopefully, is for revelation. Third time is for me to hear what I did hear the first within the first 2 times. That's my goal. I want it to sit with me. So, but that has to be what? Intentional. So let's go ahead and go to the first thing. Now, also keep this in mind. The name of my coaching system is called the FTRIA system. Follow the right instructions. 5 words. Follow the right instructions always. If you focus on following the right instructions, the correct instructions, doing the right things, more often than not, your level of success in right things will increase dramatically. That'll work for anybody. Okay? So the first ingredient is this: vision. You can't cook. You can't create. You can't paint. You can't perform any type of activity without a vision, even if it's split second sometime. You may say, okay, for example, it's lunchtime at work, you're hungry, or it's breakfast, and you normally get a coffee, and you decide, you know what, I want to mess with that. I want a cinnamon roll. That thought can transpire in your mind, and you actually in your imagination catch an image or a vision of something else you want. And if the desire for it, the crave for it is strong enough, you will go and get that even without speaking. And you'll go and say, I'm going to give me a cinnamon roll and some coffee this morning. So you can't cook without knowing what you're making. So don't even start cooking until you know what you want. Ladies, y'all are funny. Sometimes, if you want your man to take you out to eat, but there are times when you don't know what you want. I'm hungry, but where you want to go? I don't know. What you want to eat? I don't know. What sounds good to you? I don't know. But you want to go out. How can we help us fellas out? Help us to serve you better. Help us to serve you best by, instead of creating a problem in that sense, and I ain't beating you up because we fellas do it too. We act like we do. Both sides act like the other should read our minds sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But think about it. Say, hey, baby, I'm hungry, but let me think about what it is I want, and then I'll let you know. Something like that. Communicate. We shouldn't put each other in a situation where we're trying to read each other's minds. It goes both ways. I just use the ladies, because I have some friends of mine I mess with sometimes. With how they mess their husbands, boyfriends. But generally speaking, men and women do the same thing. So if you know what you want to cook, then you should begin to take the next steps to play it. So define what success looks like you. Dress for success. Practice speaking for success. Practice imagining for success. Practice getting to work on time. That's successful. Being punctual. People take note of those things. Practice listening more than you talk. Practice talking more often than you do at times because you have something valuable to say. Some people encourage you to give more feedback. You don't want to because you don't want to offend people. Okay, then. First of all, the truth does offend people, by the way. Let's go and call it what it is. Truth does offend people. But it should offend people to correct. They're going to have 2 options, either to get that situation corrected, or to become correct in that area, or to stay in their own error. That's entirely up to them. But telling the truth at times, told in the right way, in the right time, to the right person or persons, it's actually, though it hurts, it also helps. Truth hurts and can heal at the same time. So define, what does success look like for you? If you don't know the dish, that is, every ingredient looks unnecessary. If you don't know what you want, then everything's going to look like a waste of time, a waste of energy. You're not going to be motivated to get that particular assignment or that job or that making that phone call. Ingredients. It's talk about any subject or any topic. You're not going to be motivated to do what you need to do if you don't do what you need to do. If you don't know what it is you want to do or want to have or where you want to go. So what does success look like for you? Have a vision. Number 2, focus and consistency. Listen, I don't know about you, But I have had focus issues at times. Once again, I went on the program. I didn't put up any videos simply because my focus now expanded. You could say in some cases I got distracted because now I have opportunities coming to me. So, but the question is what is my overall vision? Does this opportunity align with my goals right now? Align with my objectives? If it does, all right, let's work with it. If it doesn't, go and reject it down so you don't waste any time and energy on it. And then you have to be consistent. Be as consistent as possible is what I say. Don't expect perfection. That's one of the things my dad taught me. I have a heart to be perfect. I want to be perfect at it. I want to do everything bam, 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 spot on all of the time. And that has actually worked against me. So focus on excellence, Darius. Focus on excellence. So if you've been struggling in that area, you perfectionist at heart, you want this right, that right, do everything right, you want other people to do everything right, calm down. Reset. Reset your gauges. Reset your expectations. Learn from your experiences. Don't let them become your coffin, or don't let them become stumbling blocks. Let them become lessons. So know what you want. Focus and consistency. Excuse me, I was on the other part of my notes. Focus and consistency is very important. Focus and consistency is very important. Mixing doesn't bake the cake. Just because you start baking the cake does not mean the cake's not is finished. So let's say you know what kind of cake you want, what kind of cream you're gonna put on it and all that. You got all the right ingredients and you start mixing. And then you put the bowl down and you don't come back for a couple hours. Or you don't come back for a day. You just wasted the cake. The cake's not finished. It's not done. And that's what a lot of us do. We get bored with the process, or we get distracted during the process of baking the cake, or writing a memo, or sending an email, or responding to a text message, or whatever. Returning a phone call. Things happen. I get it. But what happens when you become more focused and more consistent in the right areas of life? Your level of success goes up, stress goes down, depression goes down. A lot of those negative feelings begin to go away because now you've created a system that actually empowers you. It empowers you. And now you also begin to look better in the eyes of others. That is a part of the process. That is a part of life. That's a part of relationships. So daily repetition is the heat that bakes your results. And I know, I told you, some of this I don't like, but it's necessary. The cake you can put the cake in the oven and it smells good, but that doesn't mean the cake's ready yet or the dinner is prepared yet, right? Sometimes you're in the other room playing or watching television or having a conversation with somebody, and mama's in there cooking. And boy, it smells like the food is ready. And you walk in there, you find out it's not ready. It just smells like it's ready. Daily repetition is the heat that bakes your results. Don't just mix it. Put it in the oven. Small, consistent actions. Say again. Let me say it again. Small, consistent actions are the oven temperature that brings everything together. Don't get bored, or even if you feel bored, don't quit doing the small, repetitious acts. I know sometimes it's being detail-oriented at times, being excellent, pursuing excellence. Boy, I tell you, that does take focus. It takes intentionality. That takes commitment. That takes dedication. It takes self-discipline. It takes a consistency to see something through. And a lot of times, it's in the small actions. You start deviating in the small things, the big things never come to fruition. Or at times when they do, it looks jacked up. Come on, y'all know what I'm talking about. Now, number 3, discipline. I just listed some of this. Discipline and patience. You can't rush the process. Stop looking for shortcuts. I'm not saying there aren't any shortcuts. I said stop looking for them. Focus on the path that you're on. And if there's an opportunity to detour to get you closer or faster to where you need to go, then take that off ramp. But it's got to be a part of the process. You going and creating a new path only delays you, if not it completely blocks you from arriving to your destination. Keeps you from arriving at your destination. Because you can go down to a path that leads to a dead end. Then you got to go all the way back. And that's if you have the willingness to do that. Some people don't. And I hope if you are on that path of towards a dead end, and you arrive at that point, I hope you do turn around. I hope a video like this, I hope this video helps you turn around confidently. Okay? So don't try to rush the process. Too many people quit right before the recipe is done. I cannot tell you how many opportunities I've blown. I don't know. I know I've blown some. I know I've missed some, but I just don't know how many. But I can't sit back, or let me say it this way, because I can't. I won't sit back, and I have done it at times. I won't sit back and lament or cry over spilled milk. Enough. Clean that spilled milk up. Learn your lesson from it, and let's move forward. Let's get back on track. Let's get back on there. Why? Success is choice driven. Okay? Failure is also choice driven. Again, I'm talking about in the situations you can control. So, many times we end up on a cusp of victory, on a cusp of success. And then we quit right when we're at that because we don't recognize it. It does not look obvious. I think if the success that we want was so obvious, I don't think we miss it as often as many of us have done. So why not just stay the course? Stay the course to see that vision through to the end. Stop letting your friends hold you back. Some cases, you need to get some new friends now. In some cases, that the journey does require you to be alone without the aid of other people. They're there, but they can't travel your path for you. They can't make it to that destination for you. They can't bake that cake for you. Let your growth bake and trust the process. You know, I had a saying, I hate the process. I'm tired of the process. I don't like it. That is true. But I have to, in order for me to get on and stay on a certain course of action, to get to a certain outcome or desired outcome, I have to focus on something that's going to make it worth my while. Because doing the right thing is not always convenient. It's certainly not always comfortable, but it's always necessary. That's just how it goes. And so I had to reframe, and I still am going through the process, but I have to reframe how I see, depending on the assignment, okay? Depending on the project. I have to retrain my mind, reframe how I see it. You know, the Bible says Jesus set the joy before him. That was the joy of why he was going through what he went through, going to get on that cross and to be risen from the dead. He had to set his joy on something. And the Bible didn't say the joy was the cross, but he set the joy before him. What was the joy for him? The purpose, the intent as to why. Saving our souls. Restoring a bridge, a relationship between God and mankind. That's what his joy was. That's what his purpose, his intention was. And so that's why he overcame and he kept winning. By the way, I'm going to digress just briefly. Why don't many of us, for those of us who follow Jesus Christ, why do many of us, and I'm not knocking this particular point, but I'm making a point. I'm not knocking this thing, but I'm making a point. Why do many of us want to learn from those who have failed more than we want to learn from the one who has never failed? I just want you to think on that. You ain't got to think about it right now, but I want you to ponder that. Why do we spend more time learning from people who failed, which to a degree is good? Why do we spend more time learning from people who have had a lifetime of failures compared to the person who has not failed, not even once? Could it be our minds can't comprehend, or we don't allow ourselves to comprehend that winning can actually be a lifestyle going forward, can be more of a winning lifestyle than failures? You don't see yourself. You don't believe you can win more often than not. Could that be the answer? Because I know we gravitate towards people who have failed and they have these rags to riches stories. But then there's somebody who has a winning track record. That's all they did. That's all they do is win. And most people do not gravitate towards that person from that vantage point. Just food for thought. Now let's go ahead and go on. Number 4. The right relationships. That's ingredient number 4. Having the right relationships, developing the right relationships, being aware of the right relationships. Even the best recipe needs the right kitchen and environment. See, things about, I'm going to come up with another video. I think I did one before. If not, I'm going to. I know I intend to. Is to talk about the power of environment. People around you can either add flavor or poison the mix. You have to be careful of that. I know we have some friends we just love, we grew up with, and that's your dog. That's your girl. But the dog and your girl is holding you back because they don't want to be nor do any more than they already have, and they want to keep you at that comfortable level. And I guarantee you this, you're going to find out who's truly for you and who's not when you start making changes. In some cases, that dog or your girl is going to turn out to be more your enemy than your friend. Because they are comfortable where you are, and your positive changes is going to bring conviction to them. And instead of them responding to that conviction, they're going to react to it. Instead of them letting it help them grow and help them, inspire them to become better, to do more, they're going to take the pain they're feeling, they're going to project it onto you. You think you more than this. Who you think you is. Everything's fine. Why are you trying to change stuff now? You watch. Your so-called significant other. If you love me, you'll do this. If you love me, you'll do that. You watch. But will you have the courage of your conviction? Will you have the confidence that you head in the right direction, even though the nature of this relationship is about to change? You're going to learn about yourself in that moment if you haven't already. Align with those who help you grow, not those who spoil your potential. Listen, y'all, I firmly believe most of us have one life to live, because I believe there's people who died and came back. And I know somebody personally who went through that. We have one life to live. What do you want to be known for? What do you want to be remembered for? Something great, something wonderful. And I'm not even talking about you have to become very famous and all that kind of stuff. But what impact will you leave? Will people be glad that you're gone? Will people know that you're gone? Or will people be both sad and happy at the same time? You must answer that question. So align with those, as uncomfortable and inconvenient as it will be at times. Align with those who will help you grow, not those who spoil your potential. Let's go to number 5. Well, I told you I had 7 earlier. I meant 5. I have 5 ingredients I will share with you today. The 5th ingredient is obedience to the process. This is a FTRIA principle. Follow the right instructions always. It means that you're trusting that order matters. Even in the streets, they understand, as corrupt as a lot of them are, they still have a system, an order, chain of command, a way they do things. Criminals have a way they do things. There's certain success principles they use. Even Jesus followed divine order in his preparation and mission. If the Son of God, now I know some people don't believe that. Again, that's another video for another day. Even the Son of God believed followed divine order in his preparation and mission. That's entirely up to you. It's entirely up to me. If he led by example, this is the person I was telling you about earlier, who practiced winning as a lifestyle. Some of us have practiced failure as a lifestyle, and we keep blaming it on situations, circumstances, and conditions. We keep blaming it on other people. Why don't you decide? You decide no more. In certain areas of my life, I'm looking at that and I said, nope, no more. That's what I'm saying, no more. That's what I will say, no more. That's your decision. Even though you as a believer in Jesus Christ may say, I'm going to pray and ask God for help. Keep that in mind. God will help you, but he won't make you. He won't make you change. He won't make you improve. He won't make you receive all the blessings he has for you. He won't make you be healthy. He won't make you exit certain relationships and enter others. He won't make you leave that job or stay at that job. He won't make you start a business or keep you from a business. He won't make you. We all need help. But when you're at the age of accountability, whatever that is, you have a choice in the matter. Success comes when you respect the timing, the steps, and the sequence. Keep that in mind. Success comes when you respect the timing, the steps, and the sequence. If you do those things, that is what's going to set you up. If you use those ingredients, and I'm sure I can add more to it, but if you use those ingredients, you're going to see changes in your life. Some of the changes, again, you're going to be more, you're going to see more of, maybe even sense more. Some of them are going to be underground, so to speak, but they're going to be working behind the scenes. You watch, because once you change your mindset, everything else changes. I know this by experience, and this is for better or for worse, and for worse. So keep this in mind. You already have the ingredients. The question is, will you follow the recipe? Will you follow the recipe? Will you stay consistent long enough for your results to rise? So let me encourage you to do this. You can share in the comments. Please, some of you, share in the comments if it's not too personal what your vision is. Share in the comments. I want you to give me 5 key ingredients that you personally need. 5 ingredients that you personally need to mix correctly. It could be the ones I just listed. It could be some others. It depends on what your vision is. It depends on what your dream is. It depends on what the outcome you're looking for is. But give me 5 ingredients you see that you need to use or mix together. You need to acquire and mix together in order to accomplish that particular goal. I see a little bubble up there. I'll probably turn that app off or that feature off. But anyway, do those things. I want to know. I want you to share with me. Please write it and share this video with somebody else. Share it and let them know, listen, I think this is what you need to hear if you want to become successful. Check this out. Listen, I want to thank y'all for joining me today. I'm glad to be back with you, and I plan to continue unless the Lord decides differently. But I want to thank you that you have taken out of your time to join me. Share in the comments what you like about the content that I'm sharing. If there's a topic you may want me to cover and it's in alignment with my videos, if it's in alignment with what my purpose is here, then I may just do that. But share your thoughts in the comments. Remember to like, comment, and share this video, share this channel. And remember, maximize the moment.